Alright guys, in this video I have bought other Unifan models that's available on Amazon, and previously I covered the Interstellar V2 version of the fan and was making a tiny bit of noise here and there, so I figured I'll give it a V1 a try, and also purchase two other different Unifan models from Amazon. And I do have to put it out there. You see that sticker? That means that this was previously returned, open boxed, or whatever it is. So I don't know the status of these fans. So, and this is probably also open boxed at some point. You see the stickers being ripped out, and yeah. So, well, that is to be determined. And this middle one seems to be new, I suppose. It doesn't seem to be open that before, at least I haven't opened these yet. But anyways, we're gonna speed up the video. I'm gonna assemble these fans and let you know my kind of opinion on how easy it is to assemble these things. Alright, I have assembled all of these fans, and to be honest, I think the Interstellar V1 fans are actually quite well built compared to the other ones. I think it just happens to be I'm assembling them like from the best to the worst, I suppose, in terms of build quality. I think the Interstellar V1 fans, which is from Amazon, is called the ICOLER UNI Fan 120. I think they're pretty good built in terms of quality. In the middle, it's what they called. What does Amazon call these? The HECCOOLING fans. They're feel okay in terms of assembly, but in terms of assembly, these ones they slide up and down. It does feel tack cheaper compared to these ones, but because it slides up and down, it's actually easier to assemble, I suppose. The last one is this one. What is it called? This is called the LTC CF-121D R3S BK. Basically it's made by LTC in terms of like brand. It is definitely previous returned at some point, so I don't know how good these ones are. Probably there's a reason why it was returned, but in terms like these two, they do seems to be brand new out of the box, even though this one seems to be opened up at some point by somebody. But this one definitely looks new. So I'm gonna end up attempting power up these things. So I'm gonna split up footage for you guys, and once I test everything, I'll let you guys know. Alright, I have plugged in every single one of these and test their RGB and their RGB function. So I end up with leaving this one on just because I want to show you what I've been doing. and basically to see whether or not they can switch some RGB modes from my little dummy controller here, and kind of just to see if it cycles through all the colors correctly. And it all seems to be doing pretty good. And in terms of RGB, I think they're very comparable. Like, they're all to be the same to me. But the fans, and to be honest, to my surprise, this last one, which I ended, is surprisingly good in terms of not making any sort of abnormal noise. I know my last video ended up to be telling you guys the version 1 of these Interstellar V2 fans are making a little bit of like rubbing, scrubbing, a little bit of weird noise, and to my surprise, this one is not making any of that noise whatsoever. But obviously I'm sitting very close to it. I'm holding up like this to listen in front of my face, obviously, and they're just super quiet no matter what sort of RPM speed or angle you leaving it. It's not making that noise whatsoever. Now, when I switch this one, I'm hearing a slight, I wouldn't say rubbing noise, but I think they all kind of sound like a rubbing noise. But they all have a little bit of like an odd noise to them. Now this one, I like to, by all means, I can't remember exactly how noisy the previous one was, like the Interstellar V2 ones, but these ones are also making a slight noise. And the Interstellar V2 ones are they're crazy bad, just because if I leave it like that, it doesn't make the noise, and once I stand it up, it makes it makes quite a bit of noise. And these ones, they have like a little like whining sound, like motor whining, but it's not that noticeable. So I give this like an 8 out of 10 for like extra noise it produces. Still quite good. I mean, like moving around a little bit to see different angles you'll be, using it to attach it to. Not sure. Here, let me bring it up to the mic a little bit for you guys. Just a slight whine around like 30 to 40%, ramping up or down. To be honest, ow, that hurts. I think that's acceptable. I think you're not gonna notice that in a case fan. So in terms of just like odd noise, this will be the middle guy. But I think the Interstellar ones are still kind of I wouldn't say the worst in my opinion, but it's just kind of making that clicky clacking noise on the fan. So I'll bring this up to close to you guys, and I'm not sure you can hear this. It's almost like a broken motor, or like a engine with its valve covers being sticky. I'm actually very sorry for Interstellar V1 and V2 fans, but you guys are making quite a bit of noise from these fans, right? But anyways, it could be the ones I have purchased. I'm just being unlucky. So in this test, I'm actually gonna skip the radiator test since I have so many of different combinations of fans. I'm gonna just test out its volume at 100% and also 50% on my dial over here. So just so you guys can kind of to see what sort of noise level you guys will be hearing when you guys using these fans. So just quick stats on these guys, okay? These things does not tell you specs whatsoever. It does not tell you it's CFM. It does not tell you the RPM. It literally says nothing, even though it's nice and quiet, I suppose. The middle guys does tell you a little bit about specs. So these fan speed go from 800 to 1800. It's doing about 52 CFM, and tell you a little about noise level. But to be honest, I don't think that's depends on how far they're measuring this dB level. When I'm testing this, the dB level is definitely gonna be higher than what they're claiming to be. So at least they have a little bit of spec sheet. This thing doesn't have anything. Now we're coming to the Interstellar fans. They have by far the best looking packaging among all of these. But in my opinion, these V1 fans just a tad quieter compared to the previous version, like the previous one I tested, which is the V2. And they do have a pretty good spec sheet, I suppose. It does say it's putting out 58 CFM, which is I think identical to the other one. No, the other one's 52. Sorry about that. So 58. Yeah, ARGB, noise level. Oh, it says 29 dB here. Oh well, you're not gonna get that from my test, that's for sure. But I'm gonna bring out the Lian spec sheet for you guys. So obviously the packaging for Lian's are just, on the next level. You're paying for that. But this one, the Lian fan, tells you that you have a 77 CFM, which is quite impressive compared to all of these other ones. But do you need 77 CFM? Like when I personally use fans on my computer, I don't set them over 50%. I usually set them like around 30%, 40% at most. And it is just so it has enough like airflow in the case or in the radiator. Most of the time it's all about the design of a case for cooling, other than like these fan speed. You don't need to have crazy fan speed for cooling. So with that said, I don't know if you guys want me to retest the Lian ones. Maybe just for this video, I'll just benchmark it, I suppose. But I am gonna bring out my dB meter and then we're gonna test these guys. So I have the Lian fans already all hooked up, and these by far push out the most amount of CFM, and it showed that from its noise level. So I'm gonna be quiet and you guys see it's so it's just about 55 dB level at 100%. So I'm gonna keep the dial cranked at 100%. I'm gonna switch out these fans, and I'm gonna just not speed up, and you guys can see, you know, for yourselves. No cheating involved. And this is the Interstellar V1 fans. Unfortunately, these ones are just, I think in my opinion, the most noisy ones. So also 100%. I'm gonna be quiet. We're hitting about 56 dB level, which is just a tack more than the Lian. Mind you, these ones have lower CFMs. So let me actually push that away a little bit to see if, you know, I'm not giving it a fair advantage. Okay. So just a little bit further, it's going by 55 dB. So they're about the same. So now from this distance, I'm trying to be as fair as I can. Obviously, this is no scientific test. The dB level for this is about 51, which is a little bit quieter, and is pushing out less, you know, CFMs. It's about 51, 52 dB levels. Not that bad. Not that bad. I think acceptable. Pretty acceptable. Now the last one, which is so far kind of my favorite one for some odd reason, is these guys here. Even though they don't have any spec sheet, but so damn, 100% these things are making by far the most noise out there. It's about 60 dB. It's definitely noticeably louder too. I don't like, only if you know, if they tell me how much CFM this thing actually produces, then we can know, okay, yeah, that's why you're making so much noise. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't tell me. And I hope somebody can tell me in the comments below that how much CFM this thing puts out. Maybe I'll go on Amazon's website to take a look. And yeah, I'm gonna pause it and we'll be right back. Alright, I have Amazon page load up on here, and it says this thing puts out 70 CFM. So that kind of makes a whole bunch of sense now, because all the other ones only puts about, you know, 50-ish CFM. So I was like quite impressive for a cheapo fan, I suppose. So I'm gonna adjust this. I'm gonna go into the reverse order now. I'm gonna test these at 50% fan speed, which is I'm just gonna manually dial this back down to about 50%. How does the very low speed kind of, when it's at super low speed, it makes no sound. Try to be pretty quiet. So I think 50% would be what most people would set up either like that very high as their fan speed for their case fans anyways. And let's give that a test. So our 50%, these ones push out for about 47 dB of noise, which is, I suppose, would be okay. Not the best. So that dial I'm not gonna touch whatsoever. Put these fans in the middle. And to be honest, of all of these ones, I might just keep these last two and then ditch the interstellar fans. I just don't like it, to be honest. And these ones are also making quite a bit of wacko noise. They have this hissing sound. But at 50%, it's at 39 dB, 38, 39 dB-ish. So which is pretty quiet. You know how sometimes you get that coil whine or capacitor noise from graphics card, even though they're not loud but they're annoying? They're kind of like that. So let's go for this guy here. Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna keep this guy. I think it is just because it's got that, you know, weird motor noise. Okay, let's turn this back on. Okay, it's about 41 dBs for this for these fans. All right, let's go for the last one, which is the Lian ones. I'll make it closer. I think the Lian ones, even though you pay a lot for the product, but I think it's sometimes is money well spent. It's about 33 dBs. If you just bring in, that's about 40. So really, if you really want fans to be quiet, you have to ditch out the money. The monies. How do you want me to do one last one? I kind of want to. I don't think my power supply can handle it. But so what I'm gonna do is, I want to do a total RGB sort of comparison, just to see which one like kind of shines the best. Obviously the camera and the lighting will affect the result for you guys, but I'm gonna to do this at the best of my ability. So far I think I like these no brand, kind of no label fan on the bottom. Second favorite. The least favorite, we're not gonna include Lian because if you pay the money, that's what you're supposed to get, right? But in terms of just price per performance side of things, I think I like these ones the best, even though these ones are actually supposed to be return products too. So yeah, I think I'm gonna keep this one, keep the return ones. They seem to be the best. Anyways, let me plug in the RGBs for these guys. Hopefully my power supply can handle this. So that's one. That's two. Three. And four. It kind of all look the same to you guys, or even to me sitting here. Like, these infinity mirror fans are kind of cool, but they're really not necessary. Should lift them up on the side. Really, they all kind of look the same, especially with the shiny bits here. The Lian ones are meh, but with all these shiny bits, obviously I haven't taken out the protective film, just because if I do end up returning these, I don't want the next guy to be like, oh, this guy have installed in his case and all that stuff. Like, I just don't like this noise profile, you know what I mean? Like, it might be fine for somebody else, but it's just kind of annoying for me. So I really don't think I can actually turn these ones. I don't think my power supply can actually handle it. But yeah, so I think I can wrap this up for you guys. In terms of fans, obviously Lian is the best. You got to pay for it. I think in terms of like just actual no frills type of performance, I think this guy is probably the best one. Yeah, so that comes to a conclusion for this video. And if you like this video, give me a thumbs up. If you really like this video, please think about subscribing to the channel, and we will see you next time.